few, and then obviously there's some for you to try after. And yeah, and then you can check your answers, okay? Okay, so example 1. So what do, if you see 4 star 3? 1 star means multiply. So 1 star means just 4 times 3 here, which is 12. If you see 2 stars, then the 2 stars means it's an exponent. Okay, so then it would be 4 to the exponent 3. Or, the outcome, the output from Python would be 4 times 4 times 4, 64. So here's what a question will look like on your exam. So running the following lines of code. Okay, so we've got import numpy, which is like a variable. So numpy dot sine 0 plus 4 star star 1. So what is this? Well, we would just do sine of 0 plus 4 star star means 4 exponent of 1. And then just think about your sine graph, looks like that. So sine of 0, well, sine of 0 is just 0. So it's just going to be 0 plus 4. So your output would be 4. Okay, your output would be 4. So what would your answer for number 2 be here? Go ahead and calculate it. What's number 2? Okay, so we've got here, up here we have the sine, here we've got cos, right? So it says cos pi plus 4 star 2 plus 3 star star 2. So we do the cos of pi, and then we've got 4 star 2 is 4 times 2, and then the double star would mean 3 exponent 2. And cos of pi, from our cos graph, cos of pi is here, so that's at -1, that's pi over 2. So it'd be -1 plus 4 times 2 is 8, plus this is like 3 squared is 3 times 3. So 17 minus 1, so our output should be 16. Okay, so running the following lines of code. So now we have import numpy, but look at what this says. It says x equals numpy dot linspace. So this linspace means we're looking at a set of numbers. And this 2, 3, 5, the first number here, that's what the first number is in the set. The second number listed is the last number in the set. And the 5 means there's an array of 5 numbers equally spaced between 2 and 3. Okay, so 5 numbers in the set equally spaced between the first number 2 and the last number 3. So now what do they want? They want us to find x of 4 here. So, if you think about your number line of numbers, we're starting at 2, we're ending at 3, and we have 5 equally spaced numbers, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretend these are all equal because I can't draw them equal. So that would be like 2.25, 2.5, 2.75, and 3. So what you have to remember is with coding, it's really obnoxious because, the first number, we don't call it x of 1. Unfortunately, they call it x of 0, right? So when you're thinking 5 numbers, but you start at 0, your last one isn't really x of 5, is it? Your last number is x at 4. So they want x of 4, well, that's just going to be 3, right? Because that's our last number. So x of 4 equals 3.0. Okay, because this is really the last number. Okay, so again, if you start at 0, right, x of 0, this would be, by the way, if they asked for x of 1, x of 2, and x of 3. Okay. Okay, any questions about that one? Okay. So, try question 3 now. There's an A and B. So let me see if I can show you both. Yeah, there you go. So try A and B here. See what you come up with. Okay, let's see what you came up with here, guys. So we've got numpy.linspace, and we want to print x bracket 50. Okay, so that means that my first number in the set is -5. And my last number is 10. And there are 51 numbers equally spaced between -5 and 10. Okay, equally spaced between -5 and 10. So the numbers are, well, remember, x of 0 is first, and then x of 1, x of 2, all the way up to 51 numbers, so we go up to 1 less, so 50. So that's the last number, and that's the first number. So what do we want? Oh, x of 50. So what's the output? Well, the output for x of 50 then would be 10, because that's the last number, right? The last number is 10. Now, if they wanted instead, same set, but they want x of 25, well, we're equally spaced between -5 and 10. So if we think about our number line, we've got from -5, 0, 5, 10. Those are all supposed to be equal, okay? So this is our first number, and this is our last number. And so if we want x of 25, well, that's this number, right? X of 25. In other words, the 26th number, right? Because we have 0, right? So there's going to be from 0 up to 25, so that's the 26th number. So it's the middle. So what's the middle between -5 and 10? Well, just think of midpoint. Add them up and divide by 2. So that would be 2.5. So the output for print x of 25 would be 2 decimal points. Okay, questions? Okay. So, question 4 here. Oh, we've done those. So let me find, where's the next one? Oh, example 3. Okay, so this is a new one. So running the following lines of code. Okay, so we've got import numpy, a equals 0, and then I'm just going to highlight these. Okay, so there's two possibilities here. So a equals 0 means we're going to start at 0. Now, if it says, see how there's a tab here, like it spaces in, and this one has 2 tabs. They're both tabbed. So when it says a equals 0, for I in range 2, the range 2 means that there's only 2 numbers. Okay, so if you're starting at 0, and there's only 2 numbers, and that's just 0 and 1, right? So if it said print bracket I, then the output for this, if it said print I instead of print A, the output is just printing the last number, right? So if the numbers are 0 and 1, the last number would just be 1. Okay, but here, when both are tabbed, that means it's going to print twice. Now, these are what we call loops, right? So when you see this whole range and all this, it means, well, for this one, because this is only tabbed once, this one's only going to print once. But over here, we'll print twice. So what do I mean by that? Well, loop 1 is a equals I plus 2, and our first number is 0. So 0 plus 2 is 2. And loop 2 is a equals, the next number is 1, and so 1 plus 2 is 3. But this one is going to print just 3. That's the only output. Okay, so that's for the one on the left. Okay, so again, if A is 0, it starts at 0. Range 2 means there's only 2 numbers, so 0 and 1. Because there's only one tab in front of this A and not in front of the print, then it's only going to print the end result here, the 3. This one, loop 1, is still 0 plus 2, but it prints 2. And then loop 2 is 1 plus 2 is 3, and it prints 3. So what's the output? Well, the output over here was just 3, but the output over here is going to print 2, 3 like that. Okay? So that's the difference. So run the following lines of code. Okay, so here, 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 here. All right, so think about, what are we getting here? What does this mean? Write down what you think. Okay, what do you think it would look like here? Okay, so this means we're going to start at 0. And then range 10 means there's 10 numbers. And there's only one tab, right? So it's only going to print once. Okay, so if we have 10 numbers, then that's our last number, the number 9, right? And that's our first number. And it's only printing once. So A is I plus 2, and we know it's printing once. So, loop 1 is number 0 in here plus 2. Loop 2 is 0, 1, 2. So the next number is 1 plus 2. All the way down to loop 10, which remember isn't 10. The last number is 9 because we start at 0. So that's 11. So your only output would just be 11 in Python. Okay. Now, in this case, over here, it just says print I, right? So that's a trick. It's not print A. So highlight, this is print A up here, but this is print I. So for print I, what are we doing? What do you think? So it's just, the output is just going to be the last number. So print I is just going to print the last number. We're not putting it into here. And the last number we said was 9. So here our output is just 9. So, just be careful about that because that's kind of a trick, right? Okay, questions? Okay, so last one's pretty easy. Example 4 here. So consider the differential equation u prime of t plus tu of t equals 2. Which line of code would correctly define this equation? So when you see DE, that stands for it's a differential equation, like the ones we solved in section E, right? So EQ just means equation. So what it's going to look like is it's going to be DE equals the equation, bracket. And then the way they'll write it, the variable here is u. So it's u dot diff of t, meaning it's a differential equation, right? U prime of t, differential equation involving t, right? And then you'll have plus t times u. Well, that will be the letter t star u. Remember, times is star, right? Times is star. And then what happens is, basically, whatever is on the left side is written first. And then this is the right side. And it's going to be left side, comma, right side. So that is all the left. And then it's going to be comma. And then what's on the right is a 2. And so that's what your code will look like. Okay, so DE, differential equation, equals capital EQ, bracket, then type in everything that's on the left. U dot diff t means it's got u prime of t, plus t star u for t times u. You don't put u of t here, though. You just put u, comma, and then the right side is 2. So try it for number 9 here. So it'd be DE equals EQ, U dot differential equation with respect to T, plus, okay, so that's my left side and that's my right side. So it's plus 3 times T times U. So 3 star T star U, 3 times T times U, comma, that's on the left, and my right side is 0. So that there is my right. And that would be our code. Okay, question.
Okay, well, I hope you learned a lot the last couple days. So practice the Python, practice the booklet, do some questions, from each section. And once you study all those formulas, print the equation that's printable, the equation sheet, study them all, and do lots of exams. Okay, I hope it goes well for you, and hopefully I'll see you for the final. So you can hang on if you have questions, and any questions after today, just post them on the Facebook, okay? All right, anybody have any questions?